Gosh, I love these daily doses. If you are a regular listener of this feed, you know that I use these as a leadership journal, a place to process. And I'm always paying attention to lessons. And I had something happen recently that is such a good reminder. So here's a question for you. Have you ever checked out of a room, not because you didn't care, but because you stopped feeling like you mattered in it? I suspect you have. It is such a human feeling. And it happened to me in a board meeting recently. I actively checked out, not because I wasn't interested. Actually, I am immensely interested in what we're building. But I checked out because somewhere in the meeting, I stopped feeling like I was wanted in that conversation. I did not feel like my opinion mattered or anybody wanted to hear it. I didn't think anybody was curious about what I thought. So I did what most of us do when we stop feeling included. I went quiet. I pulled back. I checked out. And a few days later, not surprisingly, because this is uncharacteristic for me, the board chair called to check in and acknowledged my disengagement in the session. And I so appreciated that. And I told her so. And I also told her honestly how I felt in that meeting, without blame, how I was feeling. And as she listened to me, she said, "Oh my gosh, Andrea, I tried 8 different times to engage you. 8 times." And then she described what she had done. And as I listened to her, I realized wow, I did not feel a single one of those attempts. Not one of them landed as genuine engagement. They felt to me like an afterthought. It didn't feel like she was trying to engage me. Actually, I felt managed, like a checkbox, like she was going through the motions of inclusion without really meaning it. So my nervous system, which is very good at reading rooms, registered none of it as real. Now, please hear this. This is not a story about who was right and who was wrong. I think we often miss what's really important because we get into that. This is a story about one of the most important and most humbling lessons in leadership. Intent is not the same as impact. She intended to engage me 8 times, and I felt none of it. Both of those things are completely true at the same time. And the gap between them, that space between what we mean to do and how it actually lands, that is where so much leadership breaks down. We think we're being inclusive and someone feels like an afterthought. We think we're being direct and someone experiences us as dismissive. We think we're checking in and someone feels managed. We are doing the thing genuinely with real intention, and it is not landing the way we think it is. And here's what makes this so hard. You can't know about the gap unless someone tells you, and most people won't tell you. They'll just quietly check out like I did. And you'll keep believing your 8 attempts were landing because nobody said otherwise. That is why the board chair's call mattered so much. Not because it was an easy or fun conversation, but because she created a moment where the gap could become visible, where I could say, "Hey, this is how I felt," and she could say, "This is what I intended," and together we could look at what was actually happening between us. That is courageous and honest leadership on both sides. And here's the invitation for all of us. The people around you are reading your engagement all the time. Not just the words you say, but the energy behind them. Whether the question feels genuine or procedural, whether the eye contact is real or scanning the room, whether the invitation to speak feels like an opening or an obligation. Your intent matters, and it is not enough on its own. So here's your reflection for today. Where might there be a gap right now between what you intend and how you are actually landing with someone? And is there someone in your world like that board chair brave enough to tell you? And are you creating the conditions where they feel safe enough to do it? The gap only closes when we are willing to look at it together. What a great way to take care of yourself and ultimately each other.